I have the tremendous privilege of introducing our next speaker, my dear friend, Chao Rothberg. Her father founded Lao Family Community Development. Their family was one of the first or second families who were refugees from Laos after the war. And they came here and had nothing and started their life anew. And then when their friends came over, they just started helping others. And that's grown into this amazing organization. And then after the refugees from that region stopped coming, they opened their doors and used that same skill they developed to the next wave of refugees. And then at one point along in their journey, they opened up their doors to anyone who needed help. It's this unique theme of using your own trauma, your own pain, actually becomes your superpower. And if we can shift that, so they view the homeless through this paradigm of refugees who may not be fleeing a war, but they're fleeing their own personal war. And they're using this paradigm to reintegrate them into society and empower them to be productive members of societies and incredible leaders. So Kathy, this is for you, and take it from here. Let's give her a big round of applause.
You know, I didn't send a memo, but I want to express how grateful I am of the team, because all the speakers before me, they really set me up, from Dr. Greenberg to Stuart to Morgan to Adrian and to Aaron and, you know, Mason and the folks before me. Did I forget anybody? Okay, so here's my information, so you can go ahead and capture it. The name of the organization is Lao Family Community Development. The reason it's called Lao is because when we came to America, there was 5 groups of Laotian refugees that were from the mountains who escaped to refugee camps in Thailand. Then I came to San Francisco and lived in a single-room occupancy motel in the Tenderloin. So imagine that coming from the mountains where we didn't have clean water, where we had to grow our vegetables and forage for roots and herbs and, you know, fruits, and then to raise pigs and chickens, and you had to trade to get salt and oil, and, you know, you had to figure out how to create fire. I'm going to start by saying that, you know, in California, we have a major problem. We all see it. There are approximately 82,000 people who are experiencing homelessness at any given time. And that's 2023. In 2024, the point-in-time count data is going to come out in the next couple of months, and then we'll be able to see. It's highly likely that it's going to be over 200,000 people. The second problem that we have in California is that developing affordable housing is extremely unaffordable to develop. Oftentimes, each unit of housing costs about $1 million to $1.4 million to build one unit of housing for one family. And the third problem is that on average, it takes about 8 years to find a piece of land, to finance the land, to do all the engineering and all the entitlement and the financing and et cetera, to actually build the apartment and then to lease it up. So 8 years. Approximately 2,000 people die a year in California from being outside. Can we wait 2,000 times 8 years, 16,000 people to die? And our state, we have this aspiration that we're supposed to build 3.5 million units of housing in 6 years. So our electeds and our government 6 years ago said that that's what we're supposed to do. In order to achieve that, that means that of the 58 counties in California, to achieve 3.5 million units in 6 years, we have to complete about 16 units of housing a week in each county. And you know how many units we actually built in the last 6 years? We actually completed 2 units a week per county. We can't wait. You can't see this, but what we try to do, we try to transform lives. So I'm going to be speaking from the perspective of being a developer. I am a developer of traditional affordable housing. But the last 6 years, we decided as a company, our company, that we're not going to do the traditional way of ground-up construction anymore because it takes too long, it's too expensive, and too many lives are lost while we're waiting to figure out how to finance and get it all approved. As a nonprofit community development corporation, and the other speakers who spoke before me who also operate nonprofits, it's really critical for us in our work because about 31,000 people come through our door, and we deliver service in 35 languages. But not everybody qualifies for our intensive case management. So when you're a nonprofit, your ability to serve is based on your ability to secure contracts and donations and earn income so you can actually deliver the service. Not all nonprofits are created equal. It's really important that nonprofits, we have to do assessments, and so we know exactly what the issues are and what the barriers are. We do an intake, and then we have to have a way to really manage creating the individual service. You have to individualize the service because every person, like Morgan talked about when she came up here, is unique. Our unique circumstances and our unique situation require a customized service. Just like when you go to a lawyer, it's your particular situation. You go to a doctor, to a general hospital for your primary care, your behavioral health, your mental health. You go to, a bone specialist if you have a bone problem. You go to an oncologist if you have cancer. If you can't see, you go to an optometrist. So you need to build customized service. And so we as providers, if we had a framework of accreditation, just like when you go to a hospital, they're accredited through the Joint Commission on Hospitals. You go to a lawyer, they have to pass the bar exam. You go to a doctor, they have to pass the board of medicine. So if you're going to go get surgery, you're going to go to a surgical specialist. So us as nonprofits, as providers, having a framework of an accreditation also can set us to deliver better quality care for our customers. Okay, you can't see this, but this is Lao Family's model. We talked about how we deliver services. You have to put the customer in the middle. And there's nuclear families, there's kinship families, there's mixed families, same gender families. Families come in so many different ways, like Dr. Greenberg talked about. It has changed over the years. So we have to take it into account. And so the design of our service, our integrated service, means that the client is in the middle. And we bring all the service to the client. It is very difficult when you are unhoused or you're a survivor you don't have transportation. How can you take the bus or light rail or BART or walk, and it'll take you 3 hours to go to 2 providers? So it's very inefficient. So we develop community centers and campuses where the customer is there. We bring the probation officer there. We bring the school there. We bring the legal team there. We bring the clinics there. We bring the academies there. We bring them there. And transportation should not be a barrier. When you think about it, it costs $132,000 a year to incarcerate someone here in California. That's more expensive than sending them to our most expensive public university, let's say Berkeley or LA. So instead of incarcerating them at 132, let's send them all to college. So over the years, we have developed this model, and let me share you this model. And the one on the right, the picture, is our Care Campus, a 275-room vacant motel that we have developed into one of the largest reentry housing employment programs in the nation. This is an example. That's about 50 to 60 different types of services that we provide. So using that model that I just showed you, we have been able to advance 500,000 households in 44 years to become self-sufficient. to buy a home, to start a business, to get out of homelessness. It takes a lot. And I think that case management sometimes is overused because the quality of the case management is really important. We have to find partner because we can't do everything. We can't do everything. So we need to partner up. And so this is just an example of contracts that Lao Family has secured so that we can give that wraparound service for each household. These contracts have been in place for 10 to 40 years, each contract. But we still can't do everything by ourselves. So we really need partners, including individuals and technology and cryptocurrency, hospitals, families, corporations like all of you in here. We need GIT, government working with industry and also with people, right? We have been affecting our work by delivering a model, and because affordable housing is so hard and so expensive, so long to develop, we have impacted our community and to help transform families by basically leasing, guaranteeing, buying motels and creating community centers. So we have the CARE community centers, which are our full campuses with all the wraparound service that are 1.5 acres to 5 acres each. Our motels, we call them the campuses, CARE campuses. Well, there was CARE community centers and then there's CARE campuses. And the motels, we decided motels are the fastest way to get to housing. And we have been converting them to housing with private sector debt and equity. And creative finance with the sellers helping us as well. So we've been able to create close to 600 units of housing in 3 years. And then we also have CARE casitas because we're not going to be able to buy 100 plus units of motels all the time, although there are 163 vacant hotels right now in the state of California. So imagine that there's 10,000 rooms right now, so we can move everybody into the rooms. There are 69,500 homes for sale right now in California, and the median price is $760,000. By comparison, let me share with you. So this is an example of how our conversions are. So the Vagabond is in Sacramento, it's 107. The one on the right, that's the CARE Campus Oakland, that's a former Motel 6, 285. CARE Campus on the orange there was a 30,000 square foot furniture warehouse with railroad land at the back. It took us 8 years to get it out of court, but then we were able to convert it. And then on the right is a former Comfort Inn that we have been able to convert to 117 units of housing. It took us basically 6 months to 18 months to acquire and rehab these properties, and it cost us between $65,000 per studio to $120,000 a studio. And like I said, 6 months to 18 months, not 8 years, and not 1.2 million to 1.4. Okay, that's lives that we can transform right away. So this is my last slide, and my dream team is over here. Okay, I have Mike Kwok, I have Katrina, and I have Brad. We have a table outside. You're welcome to come and talk to us in detail, to ask us, how we do our work, and if you want to partner up with us, come and talk to us about how we can help you, your city, your church, your organization. You can sponsor a family. You can sponsor a unit. You can collaborate with us. Our mission is to advance all families in California, and that we should all thrive, like Ted talked about. There's more wealth here in California, in this region, than ever before. You guys saw the news. Just 6 people sold all their stocks. Billions of dollars were sold just recently. So we have the vision, we have the mission, we have the model, and there's plenty of money, there's plenty of property. So let's work together. Okay, let's connect, let's meet up, let's have coffee, let's visit with each other. Superman is not going to come and save us. We need to save ourselves together, okay? Thank you.
All right. I intentionally told her to keep her talk tight, okay? Because every time people have wanted to ask her a lot of questions. So now we have time to take a few audience questions. So your CARES campuses, I've been sharing this, and tell me if I've got the stats right, that within I say you have a 95+% success rate of resettling the homeless, reintegrating them into society so they're independent with a job, with first and last month's rent. They've overcome their traumas, their addictions. I mean, we all have traumas and addictions. None of us are perfectly mentally healthy, but enough to function, and in 6 to 18 months. Is that correct?
Correct. Let me explain. So we've been doing this for 44 years, over 500,000 households. And we started with refugees, and then we went on to families who are in, public welfare, generations of public welfare, single moms and single dads. Then we moved on to help individuals or adults with disabilities, so then they could also become independent. And then we started to help individuals who had incarceration. So the data for our incarceration who are formerly incarcerated as well as homeless, approximately 90% can achieve self-sufficiency in 6 months. And because we have developed this method, so then the other 10%, they would graduate in 1 year. Individuals who are unhoused and who are in the encampments and in tents and in their cars and RVs, approximately our data right now is that 80% can achieve independence in 1 year. And then about 20% individuals who are on SSI with disability, with no income, no family support. It takes us about 16 to 18 months to be able to advance them into independence. So they have an apartment. Dr. Greenberg talked about credit. Nobody talks about credit. Credit is critical for housing, period, for cars, for school loans, for everything.
Wonderful. A question.
Hi, my name is Layla. Thank you for your passion as well. I myself am a child of immigrants, lived in California all my life, and even in SoCal, it's the same problem. The reason I had to come to the Bay Area, because I couldn't afford housing on my own to stay in SoCal even. And I finally got my voucher. I went through BACS, I met some people through that. But even getting that has been not easy. And I'm trying to, being somebody with also some disability, that I found that a lot of apartment complexes, they seem to even, ones with elevators or disability friendly or nice complexes tend to be priced above the range of the voucher, which I think is also a discriminatory practice. It's not fair, obviously, is what I'm trying to say. And then I'm even trying to go through my apartment now to get a lower floor unit, and then one with a washer dryer inside. I mean, even there's like an individual issue. But I just wanted to also mention, I know friends that also had vouchers, and because either they didn't have enough credit or whatever reason, they were waiting for months and months and months just to be denied. And then they have to end up in boarding cares that are very expensive. They make the problem worse because they pack 4 people or 5 into a room. We need to also streamline or make them more affordable or accountable, these programs or SILs or all these things. So, anyway.
So I think your question is basically, I've lived that experience and I've lived that problem that you're facing. And
I'm happy to talk with you. We have 350 units of vacant housing right now. And this is what I want to talk to you all, because the pipeline, it's actually not that hard to do this. And I need partners, because it took Lao family a long time, but we have been able to secure the pipeline for the housing. We can't do this in every county, but if your county needs it, we're happy to talk with you, and we will waive your credit. Well, we can waive your 3X. So come and talk to us at our table over here. We have 350 units of housing. Okay.
I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kathy.